you any idea what you're doing here?
Take the L, loser.
Oh, there we go. Hi, Povey. How are you, friend? Let's move our coffee over here. So I was gonna do this big Dagon mini that I have, but I realized after I started my stream that I don't have any super glue. So we're gonna do this burrowing horror instead. Oh shit! When did you get it? Oh no, that's rough. Also, Povey, you might appreciate this. Sketchy did this for me. So it'll give us a random pride fact when we do it too. Pro initiative. Death Kitten! Hello, Death Kitten! Did it do the thing? I don't know. What? Hi, Death Kitten! How are you this morning? I hope you are well. There we go. Hello! Good morning! How are you? Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so silly. But so great. Tired, was gonna sleep, but. Aw, thanks, Death Kitten. Damn. What? Did you work last night? Is that why you're tired?
Well, besides the lashings,
Right? I know. She's amazing.
the
Um,
tattoos, and the well, other than that,
Povey, if you want, she can. You worked 13 hours. Damn. An hour and a half ago. Were you able to catch Norseman's stream this morning? I saw he was streaming. Hopefully, you were able to catch him too. Also, thank you so much for the subscription. I can't thank you enough. I tell you how much that means to me. Always, you're amazing. Again, it's not expected. Never is. I'm just happy to have people hanging out with me while I'm streaming. But also, yeah, I've been told by my creative manager that I'm not allowed to discourage people from giving me money anymore. So now I just say thank you, and that's hard to do. right? She's amazing. I know. I love. You're always like one of the first ones here, Povey. It's so adorable. My goal is to. My goal right now, because I've been for one of the things I hadn't talked about for a while, just because it was my own inner struggle. I was kind of battling. Right now, we're removing all of the mold lines from our burrowing horror. It's already. Wait, no, we're gonna have to add primer to it, so we're probably gonna get to painting our water elemental while we wait for the primer to dry. But we're gonna remove our mold lines, and they also have some of these like words on the feet. We're gonna remove those, and then we'll get going. Yeah, for like pretty much since like February when all that stuff happened with my boss. So for 3 months, uh, 4 months, I had been battling kind of my own depression and anxiety demons. And only recently have I really been able to start pulling myself out of that with help from some really close friends and Sketchy, who's amazing. And now that I'm kind of coming out of that funk, my goal is to um, my goal is to try to make it on, or make it on at least every weekday morning or afternoon. And then once I'm able to do that for a couple weeks, then we'll start doing even longer streams and more often. So, yeah. Starting small now that I'm hopping back into it, and I'm really owning the fact that I am a full-time streamer now. It's taken me a couple months, but I got there. I got there. Keep it cool. Should we keep the Made in China on the bottom of the Burrowing Horror? I feel like that would be a funny thing to do. Burrowing Horrors, Made in China. Oh, that's not good. I'm just gonna do that on all of them. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna just end up gluing this to a stand because it is it doesn't have anything that it's currently standing on. But I still, just in case. Oh my god, the chickens. We're gonna change this out soon, I think. Oh god, that's really funny. We're gonna change this out, or the, oh god, what was I saying? The chickens. I gotta change the sound. I grew up in a home where we had roosters and chickens, and quest evening. All right, so we're playing Day of Baldur's Gate, and this is Quest by Sirenscape. Yeah. Anyways, I forget what I was saying, but nevertheless, let's paint some minis, guys. Ibuprofen does work wonders. Ibuprofen and Benadryl also helped us a lot when we were on, because we also did the Pfizer. And those helped us immensely. Yeah, I think I might build a stand for this mini. I don't usually build stands, but I think I will for this one. really see any wood lines. Oh, there we go. Okay. I was really close to painting the blue dragon this morning. But one of the things that I've noticed with one of the things I've noticed for me with painting minis is when I have an image of what the mini's supposed to look like, it's hard for me because I like to just kind of see if it's. I don't think it is. It's hard for me because like I want to just like go free and just kind of like paint kind of chaotically. But when there's like order, like something I have to follow, I kind of get a little caught up. So we will paint the dragons. The dragons will be coming, but I just have to be ready for it. Okay, so this is a burrowing aura. A burrowing aura! So I think we're going to start off with a dark. A bunch of umber left from yesterday. I think we're going to have to look at color scales first, so that I can get like a real good feel for it. But first, let's apply our primer. Primer's so weird. The consistency, especially after using like other paints. Let's see. Maybe hopefully this isn't too much light. Oh, that's good. Cool. Okay. So. Oh my god, you're so cute. Let's get the primer on that.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah. Hey, MT, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? It's good to see you. Today we are painting a burrowing aura. You can see its face, very like juggernaut like style feel, and the body is. I almost feel like the body has like armor painting on. I don't know how I'm gonna do this one because it to me it gives off the feel of like bone and metal, but it's also like I also wanted to give off the feeling of it like burrowing underground. So I am unsure just yet where I'm going with it, but right now we're putting primer on, and then we have to let that dry, and then we're gonna work on our water element while we wait for the primer to dry. This mini was exceptionally shiny before putting the primer on, which is kind of funny. I think I will definitely make a stand for this one to put it on. It didn't, since it's not on one and it didn't come with one. We'll do that maybe on the stream because I think it'd be fun. Because I don't know. Like we might do some highlights of like sand colors on it, maybe. But I think I'm leaning towards doing bone and metallic as the colors that we're gonna do. Look at that primer; it's just so sticky, which is good. It just sticks to that plastic, but. Almost have it all on right. Make sure nothing's on there too thick. Or we put it in the window to dry. It's starting to dry. It's a pretty low humidity day. It's a very dry day. It's here. But Sweetie, you're so cute. Dog facts. So, now we're gonna move on, and while we wait for that to dry, we're gonna do some of our water elemental. So at this point, the watercolor that we have is perfect. We've made it like so that it's darker down here at the bottom, and then it has like these highlights of the blue, or not highlights, but like the light blue at the top. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through with this Citadel Glaze Wave Watcher Green, and we're going to do like strokes of green across it to try to like give the feeling of just like some of like the life plankton or like seaweed that you see in the water, just to give it more feeling. And that many is not going to take very long to dry. That is already damn. Okay. And also today I have a new keyboard for no reason really, no reason. It's definitely didn't definitely didn't spill coffee on my keyboard this morning while I was getting ready. And then luckily Sketchy got a new keyboard and put her old keyboard behind the TV, so my new keyboard is really an old keyboard. Definitely, it's not because of that at all. It's warm in England too. That's fair. I think it's warm. I was gonna say warm everywhere. Wow, more coffee. We're gonna drink a bunch of this coffee right now. Help me wake up. Okay. Right? Yeah. Sleepy. What? Oh my god, that's amazing. Sleepy pickle pizza dad to you too, MT0. Are you can I'm gonna try to interpretate what you mean from that. Are you hungry, but you're so sleepy uh to get out of bed um right now? Uh but you're doing good. Boom. Indeed. Boom indeed. Sweet. You're so cute. I think now what do we have? We have dog facts. I think we have cat facts. We have the pride facts. I thought there was number facts. Yeah, can't remember all the facts we have now. But Sketchy has added a couple, which is awesome. Just adding some of this wayward green. I think a horse just went by. Oh, that's right. And I haven't even started Stream Raiders. Oof. Struggling this morning. Let's see. There. There we go. I think we'll put a little extra here on the back. This is kind of like the wave. Like the front is where a lot of the what's it called? There's like water. Uh, but the front is where like a lot of the movement and stuff is happening. Where the back, I feel like, is where it's like coming out of the water. So this is gonna show more like what the surface of the water was doing before the elemental was there. If this was in the ocean, but if this was just cast on dry land, then it's a different story, you know. Yeah, you got an extra shot for Oh, you got an extra slot. Oh, nice. Hell yeah. Put this up in the window to dry. Bring our bad boy down. Oh, that primer's still drying. We're gonna tip it a different way so that it can kind of dry at the bottom now. And we're gonna pick out a pink. So I'm thinking metallic and bone, I think is what I was saying, right? So I think I have the skeleton bone. This one. I think. Yeah, skeleton bone. Castle gray. Drake tooth. Good. Necromancer's cloak. Black, which painting we try to avoid as much as we can. With a lot of it used, I have a buddy who really likes to use black, and every time he came over, he would use that. I try to be careful with that. It basically dominates whatever you're doing. Okay. Let's see, do we want to use... Ooh, yeah, okay. We're going to start with the pig iron, I think, for the metal. And then we're going to do, I think, just the skeleton bone as the base for our bone. We're just going to go for it, guys. Go for it. Connect 4. Okay, so these are the ones primarily that we'll be using. And then, oh, and I got this. Let me show you guys this. I got this in the mail, which I'm really excited to do. It's a basilisk and a real. Both like psychic type monsters. If you've ever played D&D and or know the lore, they're related. The Grial is like connected to. Oh, actually, I think they're both connected to the Underdark. I don't know if the Basilisk is a psychic type. Okay, now that we have that, we're gonna, and I have my idea, we're gonna go look at some pictures. Right? The facts are amazing. Sketchy did such a good job. Let's see what comes up when we search. Actually, I'm gonna turn this off and then we'll search. I'm gonna search it and then turn it on once I see Burrowing Horror. Oh, interesting. I'm happy that I already decided what I wanted to do, because definitely what other people have done is a lot different, which is cool. So you have, ooh, they did like red bone, definitely, and then like red. Oh, that's airbrushed for sure. Ooh. Okay, after doing this, I'm definitely gonna have to get this many, or find it if I can. Ooh, that one's interesting. That's like moldy, mossy on top. Ah, I like that. Okay. Okay, so this is more what I'm going to be going for, I think, except the colors are going to be switched. Oh, there's a painting tutorial. Interesting. That's really pretty. They did a phenomenal job. We're gonna just open that over there for me and another link. Okay, so they did same color on the top and the bottom. Oh. See, I'm so jealous. This, like, see how white that is? Um, and it's definitely, they definitely try to make it look like it's bone. I'm so scared of going that light with everything that I'm just gonna, like, because you can tell they went super light, but they still maintained their, like, highlights and the differences between everything. I can't tell this. I don't think this one's airbrushed. This one's painted. Uh, but the color differences are there between all the scales and everything. That's cool. Oh my god, that's fantastic. I love that so much. Oh my god. I love that so much. Oh my god. Guys, there's so many minis I want to paint. But alas, we will start painting ours. I'm so happy that I found that mini. I did not think I was going to find that. That's awesome. That's also by Reaper. Cool. I think so. I decided. I think I'm gonna start with like an off-white for the bone. We're gonna start with this. We're gonna do the base for the bone as this drake tooth, which it's just kind of, yeah. It's like a I don't know. I don't know how I would describe it. It's like a lukewarm white. It's like a grayish white. Chill winter night with music. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Yeah, I'm doing the whites over here, kind of off to the side of the palette where a lot of these colors are, because I don't want them to mix. Normally, I don't mind if my colors mix just like a little bit, but with the whites and the light grays and stuff, um, they're so strongly affected if they're mixed. Okay, so let's paint this bad boy. me, because there are monsters that like burrow in D&D for sure. I forget what their names are. There's quite a few. There's even one that like is like a sand shark basically. And we fought once, and that was really fun. But I feel like given the name and the look of this monster, because I feel like the look says a lot, right? Because even with creatures, if you start to look at like different animals and stuff like that, like they're the way they look and everything, like definitely shows the kind of life they had to, or like the way they had to adapt to their environment, right? So if this monster, and in D&D, the fact that it's like in our world, if something says horror or something like that, it's most likely not going to be supernatural. Who am I to say what it is? It's most likely not going to be. But in D&D, things can definitely be supernatural. So this could be. I don't think it is. This definitely looks more just like a tank monster. And the way it looks, it definitely looks like it's had to adapt to living in like a very, very harsh climate. So and since we're going with bone, if I went all metal, then I might say like a lava or like kind of environment, right? Because then like it could be burrowing through the lava, and we could do like a stand that is kind of like a lava environment for it to be on. But since we're going with bone, I don't think lava. I'm thinking more like desert, dry environment where it probably lives in like caves and such, and its burrowing is more of a defense mechanism. For me, when I paint minis, I start to like develop like a story for them. Like I've said before, like I start to develop a story, and I start to think of like how adventurers would interact with them, and like how they would interact with the world. Um, it just like helps me. It starts to really give character to the idea of the mini, um, and from there I'm able to try to add that character that I kind of imagine to the mini. And I try to put my own personal spin on it. Again, like I've said before, when you're painting ones that like already exist in the world, it's a little hard for me because I'm such a lore hound that like I have this idea already of what it should look like, and so sometimes it's hard for me to step back from that and just paint my own mini. That's why I love doing the Reaper ones, because they don't have branding for like any of the popular. They might now, but they didn't, I should say, have any branding for any of the big popular brands. So when they make things, they would have to like just do it like a little bit off. So if they were, I think, because Beholder, I'm pretty sure Beholder is owned by D&D, like the image of the Beholder. I don't know if like the Beholder itself, the name, but the image that is the Beholder is copyrighted by D&D. And so if you go look at Reaper's Bones Beholder, it's so much different, but it's kind of fun because like you get a step back and you don't feel like you have to like adhere to like what is expected. And then one of the big things for me is I'm trying to then take that energy into then painting the minis. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Painting the minis, like going back to the more traditional minis, because I feel like adding just like a little bit of flair and like of your own touch to it is kind of fun. There is something really fun in trying to paint the exact replica, but I'm not that good yet that I can make it look exactly like the drawings. So for me, I have to do it a little bit more abstractly. And with that, coming from like my own area and ideas is where I kind of go with that. So. Ooh, we did a lot of painting now. Oops. Damn. Way too much there. And my color is definitely not watered down. Just talking about possibly making. Oh, that's cool. All right, bye, MT. You're probably already gone, but bye, buddy. Leveling and doing some WoW stuff. Hell yeah, Bodie. Norseman! Norseman with 3 peeps? Look at you. Norseman coming in here hot. How was your stream, Norseman? I popped in for a second earlier, but you were talking about some pretty heavy shit, so I didn't want to impose. I imagine that you were talking about the stuff with Buddy. Are you now a free man? No more work for you since you worked earlier this week? But such is life. You are a free man now. One sec, I'm gonna give you a shout out, buddy. Even though most of the people in my chat probably already follow you, but... Nope. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Oh boy. There we go. I'll wake up sooner or later. Oh man. A Morgan, if you will. I am a free man, a Morgan, if you will. Oh my god. Now that I feel very tired. Yeah, last night I went over to a buddy's house, and I on our camp out I had one of those seltzers. But last night they bought some of those seltzers, and I think I had 3 of them. I had one and I felt it. I had 2 and I got tipsy. And they're just like these small little things, but they're 5%, and I just don't drink anymore. I'm a lightweight. And then I had 3 and I was like falling asleep. I was like, oh my god, what is this? So today I woke up not really hungover because I didn't really drink that much, but definitely like a little bit more tired than I know. Just my body was like, alcohol? We haven't had this since our 20s. What do you think you are, a young man again? Hit me in my body. We then had like a back and forth. It was a whole thing. That's my boy. Yeah, they do pack a bit of a punch. Right? Yeah, you three. It's funny, man. We used to be able to drink so much more. Not these days. I'm kind of okay with that, though. I definitely like our more laid back lives we live now. I do cherish our younger partier lives, but I, I like what we have now. Um, so tomorrow, Norseman, if you want to, I didn't know that you were gonna have it off and want to play, but we're doing a Phasmophobia stream for 10 hours, and we're doing a charity connected to it. Um, we basically have a rotating fourth spot open if you want to play with us. It's going to be me, Gamma, and JJ are going to be, and I think JJ is not, I think she's also not going to make a 10, but Gamma and I are going to go for 10 hours playing it. And tomorrow night. Because normally your day after, the day that you work, you just sleep the whole day, and then the next day you hang out and play games. But I always expect you to sleep Friday, so that's why I schedule things like that on Fridays, so that then we can hang out on the other days. But since you're off, if you want to, I know Phasmophobia isn't your favorite game, but it's for charity, and I could send you all the info for it, so that you could do the charity with us if you want. But that's up to you. Right? It's 5%. The seltzers, they're 5%, man. I'm used to 3.2. It's funny. I just use my THC. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really either. I usually go THC or CBD. Right? Yeah. That's insane. Look at us all in our old age, what we've become. I can't love it. I'll be honest. Some people are like, I'm getting old. And I'm like, getting old. I'm like a fine wine. Really coming into my own. So I decided, I think, on the underside of this monster, don't know if you'll ever see it, but just because like, I'm doing like a whole story and stuff with it when I paint minis. Um, the weak part of this monster, I imagine, is its underbelly. Because if you look at the top, there's just armor and bone and all this stuff. So that the underbelly is like right where it's weak, right? Where like I feel like it would do a lot of its like this is where a lot of stuff would be exposed. Um, so I'm gonna paint it red, and then later we'll go back with the lighter red and then some whites. But I'm gonna put it on the stand, but like you might like see like to the side or something, just to add some extra character to it. So how much is Phasmophobia? I have some left over on my stream wallet. Uh, really? I forget how much it is, Povey. Um, It's an indie game, so it's not like a AAA. It's, I think it's. I want to say 20, but it might be more. Really working for those tannins. Oh my god, like a hedgehog. I'm the hedgehog, according to Nim anyway. I mean, that is what Nim says that you are, the hedgehog. And honestly, she couldn't have hit it more on the nose. And people from like early on have been calling me a teddy bear. And that's honestly like I like the idea that you're the hedgehog where like your exterior, right, is prickly and hard to get to, but once you get there then you get to know the Norsemen and you fall in love with them. Where mine, the teddy bear, I look warm and cuddly, and I am warm and cuddly for sure. But I still have that like that bear side of me. But it doesn't really come out. I think who was I telling? I have a story for that. That like the one of the very few times that my ferocious side came out. It was when I was in high school. Let's make sure I'm not missing anything. You're full of stuffing. Yeah, I'm full of stuffing. I look at my start. Yeah, that's honestly, I that's when I started finding myself. Was right when I'm 36 now, and when I hit 30, I could not have been happier about it. To be out of my 20s, my 20s were so fucking awkward, man. And looking back, I just thought I was like the most like powerful. I thought I was untouchable, and I thought I was cool shit, man. But I look back now and I'm like, you were a little fucking punk. Oh, you. And it's really funny to look back. I was talking to my dad, and I'll get back to the story. Don't you worry. You guys know me. I hop all over. I was talking to my dad, and I told him we were talking about all this stuff, and like I was saying how like I definitely harbored because my family has their problems. We're gonna do random. Povey and Sketchy. Povey got 3 warriors, and Sketchy got 15 gold. Let's go this way. I definitely harbored feelings when I was in my 20s for things that happened in my childhood. And I blamed pretty much everybody involved for things. My dad was probably just one of the easiest targets to go for. But now as I'm getting older, I look at my father and I'm like, he tried his hardest, man. There's definitely other people that I'm still working on the relationship with. Don't get me wrong. I haven't. But, like, there's people that I'm just like, like, they tried their hardest. And in my 30s, that's when I was just like, I'm done being angry about things. I'm just gonna be okay with this now. Like, and of course, there's still things that you should be angry about. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying stop being angry, but like, basically, like, because, my parents didn't come to like enough of my choir recitals or something like that, right? Like, but in my 20s, I was definitely like, oh man, this is an atrocity. It hurts me so much, and it's valid. Those feelings are all valid. But in my 30s, I'm like, yeah, but I also had 3 other siblings, and my father worked 15 hours a day, 6 days a week, sometimes 7. Like, just perspective. I feel like I have more perspective on the world, and that's feels so good to have more perspective. Dan is a huge bear. I mean, I did go to, every time I go to Pride, it's people, roughly living. It's bullshit that you're still believe that. Right? Yeah. I agree 100%, Kiara. 100%. Yeah, I have so much more perspective. But um the actually the funny thing about the bear thing, every time I go to, because in a crowd I kind of stand out. I love going to like our pride parade here. It's so much fun in Salt Lake, especially here in Utah. Like Utah's pretty oppressive, like the culture, um, when it comes to a lot of the some different things. But Salt Lake as a whole has an amazing like LGBT Q plus community, um, that they've that the whole that community has worked really hard to cultivate and create. And so our pride parade is so much fun, and there's just so many people, and everybody comes out, and they get like all the different groups involved, and like and then like yeah, it's fun. But every time I go, every year I go, there's always they always have like I forget what group it is, but it's basically just like a bunch of big bears on like this thing, and I think they're like they might be the leather daddies, I don't know, but they're all just like these big bearded men. And every time, because I stand out in the crowd, I'm always just like, you guys are awesome. So I just like stare at them as they go by as like these beautiful men up on this pedestal. And every year, like a couple of them end up looking at me and like winking, and I'm just like, ah. Like I always have a connection with them every year. It's fucking beautiful. It makes me so happy. Oh, you. It makes me realize they were human and had their own reasons, right? And motivations, etc. And like the thing is that nobody was trying to be like the bad guy. Like people want to be the hero of their own story, so they tried the best they could do at that time, right? Yeah. So I take care of myself. Excuse so they don't. Aw, Povey. I can still be angry about it. Yeah, agreed, right? Yeah, agreed, Norseman. Right, that's, yeah, Povey, I feel like that's the big difference. And that's what I was trying to get to is that, like, my complaints are coming from, like, a, straight white man. I mean, straight is a loose term for me, really. I fucking love everybody. Um, who grew up in a small town where it was also just a bunch of white people, and like, so like things honestly weren't that hard for me. Um, like I have my own other mental illnesses, but really, like comparison to like a lot of other people, like the transgender community, I and my struggles are not invalid, right? But of course, like I had it pretty easy, and then you can't go through life comparing yourself to everybody. It's not healthy. But in comparison, uh, for something like that, like my struggles were nothing in comparison to half the shit. I can't hear you, sweetie. Yeah, that's fair. Uh, that's Sketchy said that my life wasn't hard. By comparison, it's more that my life wasn't hard because of my existence, which is a big deal, right? Because, like you said, Bovi, like basically your parents blamed ruining their family because of you. Like, that's fucking rough. Like, you didn't do that, like, of course, if like something like that opened the door and made them start questioning things, then their morals and like everything was already loose at baseline. This is nice. It's letting my paint dry. Was already loose at baseline. So uh, then just like we were telling our buddy earlier, then you just threw a marble at a glass window and it shattered. And if a marble shattered it, imagine what a bowling ball would have done. Texan had friends. Aw. Then I found out yeah, I can't even begin to imagine. Um, I know you've told me some of your story a little bit before, and I'm impressed, Bobby, that you're actually talking about it now. You were very guarded about all of that. When you told me stuff, I remember it was more something that like you were keeping to yourself, and I tried not to bring it up in streams or anything like that when you would pop in, but um, and I also noticed like on social media that you're changing your picture to you. When I saw that, I was just like, oh my god, like this is fucking beautiful. I feel like I don't know, watching you like go through your stages, it seems like you're just getting a lot more comfortable in your skin, and I love seeing that. That could just be me misreading things, but it just seems like you are becoming happier with who you are, and I that makes me so fucking happy for you. Because I can't even imagine not feeling comfortable in your own skin. That's a concept that's just so foreign to me. Uh, I can try to understand, but I can't. Yeah. So yeah, I I mean, I try. The thing is just because I am. I mean, I've only ever been with women, but I like to think that I would be open to having relationships with anybody. But I'm married now, and that's who I'm with. So for me, it's all theoretical. But I basically am a cis white male. As a cis white male, like um, I have, I am the way I am. But like the only way to get better is to learn and like talk about things and look at things and grow and be friends with people that challenge you to be better. And like just because I'm a cis white male doesn't mean I can't be better, right? So to take concepts and to look at those concepts and to try to understand them, as complicated and as foreign as they seem to me, like I feel like my compassion will only grow uh, as I'm able to like look at other people's struggles and try to understand them and try to like um, see it and just try it. I don't know. Um, it's an interesting concept. It's hard because again, so many just foreign concepts to me. But like my compassion um, won't grow unless I at least try to understand. And so that's why I'm uh, yeah. And watching you and like watching like and of course social media like it's only like a tip of the iceberg, but just like watching you and like how you've been getting like changing everything, it's been neat to watch. To me as legally female. Oh yeah, no, that would be tough. I can't even imagine what that would feel like. I mean, though I love that the world is changing enough now that like for medical paperwork you were able to put that you were uh, like legal stuff, you were able to put that you're female and they recognize that. But right, like I when I get old letters or something like that, right, like or like a bill that I forgot to pay, and so uh, the collectors are coming after me. All right, I'm gonna start painting while I talk. And the collectors are coming after me. Like the 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 worst thing that I end up seeing is like an old address, right? Somewhere I used to live, or like what Sketchy will see is like her maiden name, right? Like I can't even imagine what it's like to like have to see a name that like you've basically tried to like get rid of because you didn't feel because it wasn't you and you turned in tried to blossom in um uh like the metamorphosis state, right? Like you've tried to really like come into the thing that's you, and then to have to like be constantly reminded that people still consider you this other thing would be weird. Stop loving your child. Guys, I love the conversations we end up having here. It's amazing. It's one of the reasons that I love streaming and continue to stream. I have fun, but also, like, I just love talking to people like this. It's amazing. Aw. A signature for. Oh, nice, Bodie. Hell yeah. But that's also rough. Yeah, if you get paid for it, right? Asked about making. Yay! That's awesome. Always being able to go and do the thing that you love always helps. Okay, we're gonna paint this now. You guys continue to have all of the wonderful conversations. I'm gonna paint this. If there's something specifically that you want to say to me, make sure to tag me. So as I look at the chat, I'll see that first. Um, but I did come here to paint a Mickey, so we will do that. Um, yeah, I think I made a post about it on social media, but like one of the big things that my dad always taught me is to be better than your father. Be better than your pops, right? Like because one of the big things that he always taught me is that like he makes mistakes, right? He fucks up, and probably will fuck up. And I remember even like when I was going to therapy one time, and sat down with the therapist, and I was like a kid. My pops was like, he was like, "All right, tell us what we did. We probably fucked up here. Like, what do we need to do?" And I was just like, at the time, I was just like, "Fuck you." But now looking back, I'm like, "Holy shit!" He just was able to just like admit that so easily. Um, and of course, he had his faults. But like the thing is, the reason that he said that is because I come from just a long line of. Oh damn! Medical bills are rough. I come from a long line of like construction workers and like mechanics and just like really rough and tough guys that you would hear just like swearing belligerently. Oh yeah, belligerently, like at bars and getting drunk, right? And like just like really stereotypical cis white men, but like um, but like the blue collar, like the working force, right? Um, and I've now started to hear a few stories about like some of my relatives. I heard one of the first stories ever, and now I understand why I don't hear stories about my great grandfather, um, because we were talking, my dad and I, we were having a conversation about like sex and how you look at it and like relationships. Because my grandpa cheated on my grandma, and then he went through in his life. He went through like multiple relationships. I remember growing up, it was always weird to me because, and then I just got used to it. But Grandpa always had a different girlfriend, and he was always talking about titties and Jack Daniels. But he loved us, and I fucking love my grandpa so much. But again, perspective, right? It's everything. And like, the thing is that the story that my dad told me about my great grandpa, because we were talking about like sex and like how we look at it, and because my dad never cheated on my mom, and like because he saw his dad doing it, and the whole thing about how you try to be better than your father, and it was like, yeah, I'm never gonna do that. And of course, temptation is always there, right? But like, so he was just like, yeah, like, so I just made it like I saw that, and I knew that was a way that I never wanted to make him feel, because he got to see how it it made his mom feel. Because again, it's like that's something that somebody that privileged, you don't always think about how it makes the people on the other end feel, right? Um, but he told me that apparently my great grandfather, how my granddad lost his virginity was he took him to a whorehouse, um, and was like, all right, okay, you're gonna do this now. Like, you're getting this out of your system. Like, this is just a step, right? And when I heard that, I was like, holy shit. Holy shit. Like, of course, like, you have an unhealthy relationship with women and, like, all these things. And my grandpa has always tried to be better, right? But, like, again, perspective, the world that you come from so much forms who you are. But as long as you're trying to improve and trying to be better, that's what's important. Easier if I'm all goddamn it, Norseman. uh, is an my insurance covers unless I go through them. Damn. What? Oh, even when you're not. Oh, that's hard. A lot of that seemed good, but like it seems also, I don't know. Our medical system is so fucked up. Oh, that's so good. Okay, so we got the metal, metallic look to the bone, and then the raw underside, the squishy bits. And I might make the head. You know what? I think I might make the head metallic. Maybe I'll make the jaw. Ooh, I might make the jaw metallic. Yeah, because there's just like a lot of white there. I think I'm gonna make the jaw metallic. Yep, we're doing it. Sorry guys, I'm concentrating. I'll look at chat in a second. I just don't want to go into the teeth. I don't want the teeth to look metallic. We might go over it with something else, but I don't want it to have this iron look. And we're gonna go over the iron and like definitely make it look like rusted and a bit like just dirty as well, which I think would be fun. There's definitely something living in the wild that has actual metal on it is, even if it does care for it actively, is going to have a little bit of built up rust or just residue of some kind on it. So. Hell yeah. Oh, that's so much better. Yeah, I like that. The metal jaw. Whoa. What was said? I may be a lipstick lesbian, but if it pays the bills, I'll. Oh my god. Insurance. Yeah. Insurance and billing is absolute bullshit. It's sad. Uh, yeah. Right. Yeah. I worked in at the hospital. I worked in the administration office for like a second for a year, and I got to see some of the bones of the hospital. And after that, I was just like, "Fuck this! What?" I went to meetings where they'd talk about low staffing and they'd just laugh, and I was like, "What? No!" Like, and I came from the floor right where I had friends and like knew the charge nurses and like all this shit, and I was just like, "Are you kidding me? You're laughing because there's low staff?" And this was before COVID. This was about 3 years before COVID. So, um, definitely during COVID, I would have loved to see what their reactions were in those meetings. I'm sure it was a lot different, uh, but still probably disgusting. But hospital administration, fuck them, so hard. I I don't have time. But the people on the floor, the doctors, like just there's so many beautiful people involved, and it's sad. And I really, really hope we start to see some changes. Like in a world where we went from doctors being the highest paying to now doctors are like mid-level and administration is getting the highest paying, and all they do is sit on their butts and sign papers and write rules, and the doctors are out there, and of course you have nurses and everybody else underneath, but like I always thought the doctors were the top, but like now administration is the top, and they're the ones like signing papers, writing rules. Like it's it's disgusting, but that's what it's come to. Right? Yeah. Yeah, if they can't explain them, then they have to remove them. True. And that's why like the administrators make so much goddamn money, because like insurance is so fucked that like administration has to be there to like basically just make sure that like all these rules and everything is followed just for administration, and that's so fucking wild to me that that's happening. Like, what? There's people dying and like having like life saving surgeries, and like these like doctors are going to school like and like giving like years of their lives so that they can be like these so that they can go on the floor and like try to be this thing that like they really hope to, like they're to try to make a difference. um but like the people like really pulling the strings and like making the money are the ones that are up in the shiny towers, just like everywhere else. I honestly thought healthcare was going to be different. That was one of the big things I was excited to go into healthcare. But when I got there, we're going to change the music. That ringing is going to drive me mad. General day with music. It made me so sad to see that medical has been infected by that level of commercialism, just like everywhere else. Not commercialism. What is the word I'm looking for? Capitalism? I don't know. You guys know what I'm trying to say. Put it a little thick on there. On that. So now we're doing, putting on, I got distracted. We're putting on skeleton bone onto the actual bones now. And we're going to put this on the skeleton bone, and then we're going to go through and put it on the underbone as well. Later, we'll probably do some highlights with it on the metal. Oh, man. I gotta get that off of the eye. Way too thick there and covered that eye up. Capitalism? Oh, okay, yeah, that is what I was. Thank you, Norseman. Right? Yeah. Agreed, sketchy. Yeah. Ah. I mean, it's crazy to me. You guys all know my story about like how I was assaulted and everything, and like so many of us were like, "Hey, there's this dude who's assaulting me." I was like, "There's this dude assaulting me," and then he was like sexually like harassing like all these women, and they would go to OEL, who was like supposed to be there for people in HR, and they'd be like, "Hey, this isn't cool," and they'd be like, basically like their biggest thing was like, go to your manager, and then we'd all go to our manager, and our manager was fucking incompetent. I always try to be nice about it. I'd be like, she was a good person. I'm looking at it now, I'm like, she wasn't a bad person, but I don't know if I'd call her a good person. And like the situation just wouldn't get handled because like the biggest thing with administration, I feel like when it comes to like that kind of stuff, they're like, will we get sued? Like, are we gonna get in trouble? Like, and if not, then let's just brush this up to the table. Like, who's the loudest voice here? Alright, one sec, guys. Who's the loudest voice, and who's gonna, like, get us in the most trouble, and let's focus on that. Instead of being like, oh, there's people getting abused. And maybe this white cis male who's, like, abusing people and sexually harassing people should get some therapy so that he could try to be a better person. And instead, they're like, okay, what's the easiest way to brush this under the table? And that's fucked. Oh, this music. It's so exciting. We're going to turn it down a little bit. It's a little too exciting. Fuck. The malice. What can easily be explained is incompetence. Yeah, right? That's... agreed. And that's like the biggest thing, right? I think that was the biggest disappointment, was like when I was like, oh, all of this is not happening because anybody's vindictive or clever or like trying to do things. It was more like they're just not that smart. Like, it's the smart people become fucking doctors, right? Like, the smart people go like, like the smartest of us, like go get doctors, get PhDs, go like try to save the world, try to make the world better, not become hospital administrators. Like, there are definitely people who are, I know who are like fucking clever, who try to become, who have thought about going into hospital administration and made that like an attempt. And so many of them like have been like, nope, I'm not going down this road anymore. This is bullshit. And that's sad to me. But like the clever people, the smart people are like, no. And so like end up going somewhere else, right? Or they're like, oh, that's how it is. I'm gonna stop trying now because like that's bullshit and I don't know what I'm working for now because that's just sad and just makes me so sad. But yeah, to look at the situation and be like, oh, like all of this was happening because a white cis male felt threatened, so he was responding. He was just doing like the gut reaction, right? And then this was just like a bunch of people trying to take the easiest route because they just didn't want to put an effort in. So they're, yeah, like Norseman said, they were incompetent. I think what I told my manager, I was talking to her, um, because I couldn't be like fuck off or anything like that because I was trying to keep my job at the time. I think the way that I insulted her and told her I was like showed that I was frustrated, and also showed me how just incompetent she was, and was I said when like everything had gotten at the worst, I said, uh, you you did your best with the tools you had, and she took it as a compliment, and I was like, all right, we are not the same. Okay, so that's gonna stay that way. We're gonna do some highlights. So this here now is officially the base. We have our metal along here. We have our bone, and then we have the underbelly. Now we're gonna start applying actual layers. With all the, like the different like rivets and like uh, peaks and everything, and like divots and different things. This one was kind of hard to get all the paint into all the grooves and everything, but we did it. We did it! D&D! Random D&D. This guy who was hired. What? Oh, god damn, that's horrible. I'm taking force, which is... Oh god. So he started calling all women in the apartment. Oh god. And got a promotion on that. Oh my god, the eggplant, sweetie. You're so fun. Okay. Now, we're gonna go darker, and then we're gonna go lighter. Um, so I think what I'm gonna do is from here, we're gonna do a wash, and then we're gonna start doing highlights, tones. Um, the wash I think I want to do is actually before I do that, even we're gonna take this necromancer's cloak and we're gonna just go ahead and do some shadowing on it first. I sometimes I rely on the wash too much, I feel like. So I'm trying to get away from that. So the necromancer's cloak is pretty dark, but it's not black. And what happens when you take The black, the pigments are just so strong that even like a drop of black, if you put it in with like the other colors, it just like absorbs, negates all color. How does color work? I forget color theory. White absorbs all color. Black is the absence of light. But basically, the black pigment just like it just like destroys whatever color you put it in. It's intense. So this one is like has other pigments mixed in, so it's not as just overwhelming. And so we're gonna start with some of the bone, mixing just a little bit of the necromancer's cloak with it, and even this is still, especially when we're mixing it with like the really light colors, did like a dot, and it's just oof. I don't know if you guys can see, maybe just like a little bit, but I did a dot, and that, oh my god, I fucked up. Okay, there we go. I think that's the color that I want. So it's gonna be, we can see that's what the skeleton looks like. So it's just like a small, I don't know if you guys can see the difference, but there is one. That in the areas that we want to be kind of more shadowed. So you can put it there, here. Other side of this. Oh. Yeah, those are the big ones. Okay. And then now we're going to take a little bit of water, wet that quite a bit. Make it just a little bit more gray. To it. And basically, we're just slowly with layers trying to make the color darker in those shadowy areas. But if I just went straight in and started throwing gray on there, it just would look a little rough. So I'm just trying to make the transition a little bit more natural. And the changes here, you can tell, are very slow. That's also why I'm watering down my paint so much, because then as we transition through it, it'll kind of just add really light layers, so it's not going to cake paint on. And also then you can see all the other paints through those layers. Let that dry, and then to the underbelly. We're going to do really watered down version of the skeleton. Oh. And you can see that because it's so watered down, it's not like it's kind of falling into the different like cracks and crevices and still leaving that red as the dominant color. I'm gonna go over that a couple times too. dry. A little bit. Spread it out to encourage it to go into the areas it's supposed to be. And you can see now that the I don't know if you guys can see, but the paint is starting to kind of get a little thicker now as I brush it. And that is because it is starting to dry. So a little bit longer. And again, I still have a lot of paint on this brush. So really, even though this is one layer, this probably ends up being like 2 or 3 layers just because I put a lot of paint onto this one brush. So. You have to be careful because you can see it the most on the feet, but your paint strokes end up showing up. And so if you're doing it on something that has like fur or has bark or definitely has a direction that it's supposed to go, or even like this where it's going this way, you want to make sure that like one, you don't really want your paint strokes to show up. See, now that's dry. You really don't want your paint strokes to show up. But the other one is you want to be going in the direction of the grain, basically. Like whatever direction things are moving, you want to be going in that direction. So if your strokes do show up, then it's all moving in one direction. Night, Norseman! Oh yeah, okay, thank you, Norseman. Black absorbs, white reacts, or reflects. See, then a great inspiration for me. Aw, thanks, Povey. That means a lot. That means a lot. Thank you. I mean, you gotta, um, wow, I'm a little speechless at that. I did not see that coming, Povey. Thank you. That means a lot. Thanks. You're gonna make me cry, Povey. And how sketchy made countdown timer? It is, yeah, she made it, I mean, she made it look easy, so, but she makes a lot of things look easy. Aw, thanks. Yeah, sorry I hadn't been around. Like I said, I was kind of at the tail end of really dealing with some of my own mental shit, and so I was just making sure that I had that all wrapped up and okay before I hopped on and started doing more just consistent stream again. And I'm back. I am back now. And going on and going outside and going out with my dad, actually having a bunch of wonderful talks with him, going out and hanging out with friends, basically just being allowed to go and be social and be around the people that I love and have conversations instead of just assuming things. Being able to actually talk to those people made a big difference for me. So, and I hope that mental health is. I love that 2020 exposed a lot of like people's struggles and like made people talk about them and kind of normalize that talk and has made mental health more of a topic that's okay to talk about now. But at the same time, I hope people can start getting out and going outside and seeing friends because we are social creatures and people can start like actually getting their feet back on track because I do not wish anybody to have the continued struggles with their mental health just because they can't be around the ones they love. That's rough. with something that can be such an easy fix. Right? Yeah. Streamlabs. I don't know if I'll stay there, but definitely as a beginning streamer, Streamlabs was so helpful. Streamlabs was just like, yeah, switching to Streamlabs as a streamer, I was just like, oh my god, this is just made my life so much easier because it does a lot of the hard work for you. I think I started with Twitch beta stream, which I feel like a lot of people do because that's what they recommend, and that's great because Twitch like walks you through a lot of that, right? And it's all the basic stuff. But as you start to stream, you're like, I want to do some of this fun stuff. And a lot of people, I feel like, go to OBS because that's like what a lot of the YouTube tutorials are, is like how to do OBS and stuff. But like OBS is great, but like when you're starting out streaming and like trying to do OBS and manage that and the frustrations of that while you're streaming and other people on YouTube tutorials talking about how easy it should be, and then you're just like, well, fuck me, what? And but Streamlabs OBS just makes it so much easier, but you still do have your limitations. Yeah, we are still doing Streamlabs at the moment, yeah, and I think I'll stay here for a while. It's good for me at the moment, and I don't know actually if I'll ever switch away from it, but we'll see. I think as we start to get things figured out more and might not rely on Streamlabs as much, because a lot of the stuff Streamlabs does you can do on your own. It's just they do that footwork for you, which is amazing because it takes so much time. But as you start to figure it out, it is something that you could step away from, but you don't have to. And that's something that I think I need to realize, is that like there's no reason to go away from it, right? Like instead I could focus my energy on other things that are fun. Okay. This bad boy. I am definitely, since I've now painted a lot of minis in front of you guys, I'm definitely starting to feel more comfortable, and I'm now able to start feeling more comfortable, like trying out new techniques in front of you guys. And one of the things that I'm doing right now is playing with the shadows instead of just depending on the washes for the shadows. We're still going to do a wash because it helps a lot for me, but some of the bigger areas that we're going to be shadowy, we're doing on our own. Okay, now we're going to do one big brush under here, this darker skeleton bone that has the necromancer's cloak on it. Because I am going to do a lighter wash, like it's going to be a lighter tone wash. Because the rest of this I don't want it to get too dark, but because we've now gone over and made those other areas darker, then the tone will interact differently for those shaded areas. Hell yeah. Alright, we're gonna let that dry for a second. Choose. If you ever need to message me, Bovie, I think we're friends on Discord. I can always try to walk you through stuff. I don't mind. I love doing that for people. Sketchy's better at some stuff than I am, and I'm better at some stuff than she is, and um, so like if you ever have any questions, you can always message me, and I'm more than willing to walk through some of this stuff for you. We're gonna finish our coffee while we wait for that to dry, because we want it to be fully dry before we put the wash on. To my first goal. And I can kick off. Nice, Povey. Oh yeah. Yeah, they all work really. It's honest. Yeah, that's true. What Sketchy said. It's honestly whatever's best for you. Just a beautiful thing that Sketchy has taught me is how to ignore things and prioritize things. And so if you need to message me, and I will message you back when I can. And same goes for like anybody on there. Like important thing is just to prioritize things. Like yeah. Also, it's nice to know like there's something comforting knowing that like you can message somebody and they're there, right? And like that you're not a burden. In no way are you ever a burden, Toby. Like if I'm too busy, I might not get back to you for a couple of days. Same with Sketchy. But like you can always message us. And again, same goes for like everybody. Like all my friends and followers and like everything. Like if people need to talk, message away. I'll get back. But I'll get back to it when it's good for me. I'm not gonna push myself too hard because I've now been able to develop boundaries with people and uh, and healthy like things when it comes to that. So yeah. It's very likely because of me. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, sure, yeah, yeah. Also, something a friend taught me recently. Um, yeah, that's something Sketchy taught me too, is to turn notifications off. Just don't hit me if I throw a going off. Oh, I will not. Don't worry. It actually warms my heart when like I get messages from people because that means that like I'm a big enough part of their life that they're including me, right? Like so really like th- like it's happy. I feel happier like seeing the messages than not, and then like I'll get to it when I can, right? And the same goes like for me. I try to message people that are important to me and just like let them know that they're still important, right? Just because it feels good to get those messages. It makes you feel warm and fuzzy. Okay, so cool. So this is dry enough now. What? Oh, we actually have our dark tone here. Throw our dark tone on. Oh wait, we weren't gonna do dark tone. Ah, it's fine. We'll do dark tone. We'll make it work. What we might do is just water it down a bit. slowed that down a bit. So we're doing like a 50-50 water to the dark tone mix. I'm gonna coat this bad boy. Honestly, the metal we're probably gonna have to go over a lot. The tones and washes and colors, because it's gonna, that metal is just so strong. The color, it just, everything takes a lot to show up on it, so that we will do a lot. As small as this mini is, the fact that it has like so much going on it, this is definitely going to be a multi-screen, which is okay because we're still really close to that 400 follower mark, and once we hit that, I've promised to do the gold dragon, so I want to be ready to do the gold dragon when I hit that. Bottom probably. Oh yeah, that looks so much better. Spreading that all around, getting it in all the river. Metal. And those gnarly claws. And because we made it so watered down, this the dark tone is normally, I've noticed especially with the army war paints, they are a little thicker, so it really would have like changed a lot. But because I watered it down, it just changed this a little bit, and it's more doing what I really want when I do a tone or a wash. For me, at least, is it's going into the cracks and like going into the different areas that like I want to show up more, right? So like on this, I'm not sure if it's showing up for you guys, but like the different scales here. Before, when it was just the bone color, it looked a lot more like just clean and straight. But now you can kind of see that there's actually like battle scars and cracks and stuff within like the different scales here on the back of this burrowing horror. And like the teeth, honestly, all I did was the bone coloring to it, but now adding this to it because there's just so many divots in the teeth. Adding this tone to it makes the teeth pop out so much. Teeth are hard to do, I feel like, but washes and tones and inks help out stuff like teeth so much. Let's let that dry for a second. We'll go over to screenwriters. Check the comments. Oh. Which this one? Ah. There we go. Stand. Oh man, yeah, that's rough, Bobby. I know you've talked about that before. I can't even imagine. Random sketchy cleric and got 2 bombers and 1 paladin to Anaro. Back. Let's see. Ah, so close to being able to level it up. Super high. Yeah, it's a tough one. Have you been able to? That's something that like you're like I have friends and family who have it. And that's something you're gonna have to be dealing with like for the rest of your life. It seems like if you're starting to be able to be more functional and comfortable in your own body, that you probably have gotten to the point now where you have some of your own ways to like to deal with it. And like, I hope you. What I'm trying to say is not coming out right. Like when I get anxious, I have things that I do to help my anxiety, and there's a word for it, and I forget what it's called. But I know for borderline that it's similar, like stuff that you can do. What's it called? Standby. Oh, don't worry, Puffy. Yeah, we're good. I get you. I mean, I do my best to get you, and I will always be here to listen. And you and me have been through a lot. And I'm still here, man. Or friend. Sorry, man. Just used colloquial there. I apologize for that. But like, I'm always trying to learn. I know you're always trying to improve. Like, that's what matters. And I'm here to listen. I'm here to talk. Yeah, it's hard. It's interesting and hard for me because being on Twitch, I've met so many people and so quickly, and there's so many people that like I at this point am like starting to consider them friends, and that's weird for me because it used to be that like I had a lot of people that I knew, a lot of acquaintances that I was close with, but my friend group was small, and I had like a very very strong friend group that I was close with. But now it's getting to the point where with like streaming and like doing all the stuff on socials and everything that like I'm getting close with a lot of people, and I have a lot of people that like I now consider and call friends. And I mean, you're one of them, Toby. Like MC, there's so many people and that I've met and would call friends, and that's nice but weird for me because I'm an introvert, and it's yeah, I have to revert sometimes into my little hole sometimes because I'm just like, oh my god, there's so much is happening. Ooh, this is looking good. I'm happy. second. Definitely gonna do more with the bone. I don't know what. Probably do with the bone a little bit on the next stream because I'm gonna go look up some pictures of bones and stuff and kind of see what each bone looks like. But we're definitely gonna move more towards the belly and the so, is that still usable? No. Well, we still have some necromancer's cloak. Which we're gonna water down a bunch. We're doing 1 part necromancer's cloak, 2 parts water. Test it here. So we'll let that dry first. Oh, it's pretty dry. This on, which is just going to give it dark. And you can see that red is still shining through. And when I talk about layers and stuff, this is basically like one of the big things. This is the belly here is probably one of the things that like they can turn to and point to that like shows the closest representation to that. Like I wanted that like tender belly look, right, to be there. And you can definitely tell that like it's more exposed here than everything else, but then I still wanted it to, because I'm sure its belly dragged on the sand and everything, right? So it's still rough. It's just, it's not as meaty, and you definitely get that feeling now with all the layers. Still not done with the layers with the clothes. Oh my god, you guys are adorable. Hungry and tired, I can admit. Got a lot of friends since the start of this year. Yeah, I feel like I have more hope. Is one of the big things for me. Like I just feel like I don't know. Things felt very bleak before. For me, especially, we're gonna let all that dry for a second. And I might be done. I'm getting close to the end of my spoons for this stream. Or not spoons, just my battery for streaming. Again, I'm trying to get my stamina back. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try to do like rust on some of it. Definitely gonna make it darker, and then we'll go back through and do some highlights. Yeah, I like the way that's looking. But I don't know. I feel like I have after leaving the hospital. That was just such a toxic environment for me that it was taking up so much of my energy, and then with the pandemic, I had lost a lot of hope, and that was primarily what I was made of as a person, was just hope, and I didn't realize that, right? And so to have such a fragile thing that my character was based on kind of like hit me in the face, and it forced me to kind of uh, yeah, um, and it kind of forced me to uh, re like structure myself um, to a more solid like foundation, um, and uh, and it's good. It's been really good for me. But I think that's one of the biggest things is why it's been easier for me at least to socialize with people is because um, hey, my own person and like existence isn't purely based on hope. It's now based on um, like um, I don't know. I don't know what I would call it now. It's more abstract at the moment. I'm trying to figure that out, but expecting to survive during my. Oh damn, Povey. That alone is enough to shake someone, right? Like that's pretty. That's big. Yeah, that's enough to like kind of change someone's perspective on something. Um, so yeah, yeah, definitely like for me and like watching um so many people die too during the pandemic did a lot for me. Yeah, but yeah, it's been nice to get to know you, Povey, and like get to a point where I can call you a friend, you know, and get to that point with a lot of people too. Like it's been nice. Okay, I think we're gonna apply this molten copper to parts of the iron. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, you're so cute. What you doing? You're so cute. I'm probably gonna come hang out with you soon. Um, but yeah, that's yeah. I love getting to talk to you. Also, um, like I've said before, um, getting to hear about your life and like your struggles and like and the same goes with so many other people that I've talked to on streams like getting to like hear that and like getting to be a part of that and like something that's so personal something that's so um, something that's so like fragile not fragile is the wrong word something that's so personal I guess and the fact that you're willing to come here and like share that with me and talk to me and sketchy and like get to know us and share those moments with us I like it and it does something to me as a person right like it puts me in a position where like I hear your stories and then I have to process it and sometimes I feel like as a person it's really easy to just like hear something and then just throw it away but like I try to process things and I try to take it and digest it and like hearing the tough stories for me is a big deal. I try to take it, I try to digest it, I try to process it. Um, and sometimes it's hard because I hear things from other people because I meet people from all over the world, right? And people of all different, from all different, is it flocks of life? I forget how to say the word is, but from all different areas of life. Um, and it helps me as a person grow. And so like my friendship with you is has been something that like has helped me as a person grow, right? Like because I still remember to this day like when I'm sure I've met many transgender people throughout my life, but I remember when I found out that like one of my friends was a transgender person, and it was when I was going to school at SUU, and they were the first like person at our school that was like came out and was like really vocal about being transgender. And I remember at SUU, like it was such a big deal that they like put it in the school paper and like it was like this big deal. And um, looking back now, like that was a and that person was so brave for doing that. But like, I don't know. If I went back now and looking at it, like I didn't do anything wrong, but like I definitely didn't understand it, right? Like I didn't take the time to stop and try to understand it. And I feel like that's one of the big things with where I am now in my life is that like I recognize that I'm very small in comparison to how many things are in life and how many things are out there. I'm, but I'm also still important, right? I'm the most important thing to me. But as far as like the world goes, the universe, other people's lives, I'm very small, and that's okay. And so being able to then like stop and get to know and like try to understand things has been. I must be tired if I'm talking about existential things. But yeah, it's been good. Um, myself, many treat me differently when I'm, especially everyone. That's why I love making new friends. Everyone, right? Yeah, as there exactly, and that um like and I think that's been one of the biggest things for me. Like 2020 forced me into a corner where I had to kind of like learn to socialize with people that I wasn't used to because I very much was like living in my own bubble, right? I had my friends that I had since like I was 23 and I was comfortable with that. And then I had my work, right? And I didn't really go outside of that, not because like I didn't like want to or not because like I was against it, but just because that was what was easy. But then going into 2020 and streaming and everything, it forced me because I'm an introvert, but it forced me into like this life where like I'm interacting with people that I have never done before, and I realized that I had a lot of things about the way I looked, or like the way that I like looked at things, and the way I felt about things that I thought, everyone thinks that they're the hero of their own story, but I was like, oh wow, like I need to change that, like uh, very much like I've always tried to be. I was raised uh, um, more effeminate than masculine because again, I'm pretty sure because of the way I looked at my grandfather and like all the other men in my life, and I was like, oh, this is kind of toxic. I don't want to be like that. So then I looked to the strong women in my life as like role models. Um, so I've always tried to like look to, but the thing is that like I realized in 2020 that I had a hard time talking with women a lot of times because I like was looking at them as like these like upper goddess like beings, but like your gender shouldn't like I've changed the way that like it definitely changes who you are, but like I shouldn't be like if I meet you and I get to know you and then I find out like that like you're I don't know with it's easy with voices, right? Because you can tell when somebody's a woman, but like in a group setting, I feel like for me, especially like because I'm an introvert, I just treat everybody in a group the same. So gender for me doesn't matter as much when there's like a lot of people, right? Because I'm just treating everybody pretty equally in the group. But then when you go down and you hang out with a person individually, then you get to know that person, you start to treat them differently. And like just because all of a sudden I go down and I'm hanging out with a dude or a girl, like there's a lot that could change, but like it shouldn't change just because they're a woman, and it was for me. Like, and that was something that like I realized I needed to change, and I was a little ashamed of, and I've worked on really hard, and I've gotten so much closer to so many of my female friends like since then, because of that, and like but that's what I mean, like getting to know people and being challenged and like constantly like looking at things and trying to improve and trying to grow. Um, for me, at least, it's good. Uh, yeah, everybody's different. Wow. Okay, I'm tired now. But yeah, it's good. Colby, thank you so much for hanging out with me and talking with me. I think I'm gonna end my stream now, and I'm gonna. Oh, hang on. Treats women the same way. It's been fast and heavily independent. Just. Aw. Yeah, that's how it was. All right, Polvi, I'll talk to you later. I hope you have a good stream today. I'm I will be sleeping, but I hope you have a good stream, friend. First friend I met was a boy in high school. It was, of course, always. You're always welcome, Polvi. Everybody is, and I love talking to you. Uh, oh, you went to an all-girls school. Oh, wow. Oh, oh, that's so sad. Kari, Kiara. Oh, fuck your name. It's gonna take me so long. Been I thought to myself, how right? Yeah. By their choice, right? Yeah. That's exactly. Um, and even still, like where I'm at now, I recognize that like my current thought processes and like everything that I'm doing like could still be wrong. Again, I live a pretty comfortable life. Like the ideas that I have and the decisions that I've made and everything are formed on living oh no, don't be sorry. No, do not be sorry. I love talking to you guys. This is one of the biggest reasons, like I said, that I still stream. Um, but the um, uh, I talking to people, learning things. I'm always constantly trying to better myself, and like, and that and same goes right. Like if I ever say anything or like if I ever do anything that you guys are like, I don't know if I agree. Don't worry. Like you can question things. Like always, that's that's like I'm not against that. Like it's I want to be challenged in life and grow. Um, so having these conversations are is always I always love it because it just helps me so much. It does exhaust me a bit, so I don't think I could do it. I can't do it every day, but I still love it, right? Like I definitely have a battery because I am an introvert. Like talking about like such serious things, but it's easier for me to do this than small talk as well. Um, and I think the more I talk about it, the easier it gets to. The more I'll have energy for it. So thank you. I wish you a nice rest of your day too. And Stream Raiders, I will do the battle once time's up, so don't you worry. But everyone, thank you for hanging out. It's been amazing, phenomenal. We got to paint the Burrowing horror, and I will continue it most likely tomorrow morning. So please come back, um, and I will talk to you all later. Toodaloo, everyone!